Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Can you hear me okay? Can you see me? All three of you. All right, we have Joe Baal. Listen, I need to know age, gender, where you're tuning in from. Don't just send me messages. Don't forget the protocol. Princeton is here. He says, Uncle Meran, hello, dear. How are you, Princeton? It's been a long time. It's been a long time. I hope you've already recovered from your fever. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been 3 days. Or 3 or 4 days. My fever broke. Finally, my antibiotics finished yesterday, and I went to the gym today just for a very short and light workout. So I did just a couple of lightweight biceps, a couple of sets of triceps, one set of pull down shoulder, another one of these machines pulling down. That was it. I thought for the first day that was good enough. Easing into it. I lost 6 pounds. It looks like I'm more fit now. Although I've been eating like a pig to compensate and pack it back up. So, Stephen is here. Says, hi, Meran. I'm online. Was just thinking of you. Good. Today, everybody who thinks of me, think super chat. Just think, focus. Mehran, YouTube channel, super chat. Nighttime, Friday nights, what is it, Saturday night? If I have any, that'll be super chat night. So don't just think of me, think of supporting the channel. God damn it, you guys, channel is gonna die with no money. So, Steven says, male 42, Los Angeles. Thank you for that. And Joao Paca says, I'm from Brazil. Okay, but years. Okay, it says male 19. There we go. Male 19 from Brazil. All right. And let's see what Joao says. I hope I'm not butchering your name because I don't know how to pronounce it. And we have Ayushman here. Says, you've helped me a lot, sir. Well, I'm delighted to hear that. Thank you for sharing. Says, you're a blessing in disguise. Thankful to you. My pleasure, dear. But you know what? Blessing in disguise is very nice, but we need more than 7 people. I should have 700 people here. I don't know why YouTube is not announcing my live streams. So you guys do whatever the hell you can do to promote this channel. You know how many years I've been saying that, and none of you really do. Otherwise, believe me, eventually I give up, because if there is no audience, I'm wasting my time. I know I help a few people here and there, but when we have a lot more audience, that means we are promoted and people know about us, then we start getting financial support because of the people who are benefiting from it. And then regardless of how my personal belief is about these services, but we need economics to be taken care of. If we don't have financial support, we can't make it, because it doesn't answer the time that I'm spending here. So the motivation will not be where it's supposed to. Why? Because everything in this life has its own cost. So we need you guys to promote the channel so many hundreds and hundreds of people will join when we have live. So we'll be able to help a lot more people. At the same time, we'll be able to have super chats. So it will help the channel, and the channel would be able to advertise because of those finances, and then we'll get to be more known, and then so on, and we grow. Otherwise, this is just, 6 people here, and I'm delighted to help. However, we need to think big. Otherwise, we'll die. So, Alexander already is here, says, hello, Meran. How are you? Thank you very much, Alexander. I'm surviving. I'm surviving. It was a terrible, terrible sickness. So weak. So weak. I'm just beginning to feel like, yeah, I'll make it. Steven says, glad to see you feel better. Thank you, dear. And Steven says, I don't want her back, but I've been feeling very disappointed on the way she was and that I invested in her. Well, that's on you. What's a qualm about it? You fucked up. You went after your need. You didn't focus on the quality of the girl. You closed your eyes and said, well, it's got boobs and it's got a pussy and all that, therefore that's qualified. It's on you. Now that you know that information should help you to set the record straight, to help you not to make these mistakes, not to make the selections the way you used to make selections. You have to learn to love yourself. You have to learn to value yourself, to honor yourself, to respect yourself. Therefore, just because you have a need, that doesn't mean that need justifies to qualify the person who happens to be, taking your attention away because of your need. So, you need to stop seeking justice. You need to stop seeking justice. You don't need justice from a woman who has done what she's done and left, and she's not been respectful to you or did not appreciate what she had stumbled on. You, on the other hand, should count your stars that even though you were naive and stupid and gave so much, fringe benefits to this girl, she couldn't take it. And she was not smart enough to take it. So that's your luck. You got to be happy about it. Stop seeking justice from the girl who has already done you wrong. It was a mistake. And as long as you don't take responsibility for your mistakes and want somebody else to take the rap or be responsible for your choices, then you'll never be happy because you're constantly waiting for the same person who has treated you wrong and did not qualify, but you gave her the echelon of qualification to come back to you and say, I'm sorry, I wasn't good enough for you. I mean, that's never going to happen. It's like a thief that robs a bank or your home, and you expect the thief to come back and say, well, I wasn't of high quality family. I made a mistake, and I'm sorry about being a thief. If they knew better, they wouldn't behave that way. And this girl is not going to be justifying her behavior to you by apologizing to you, and you expecting that is very naive of you. You have to learn in this world you can't have justice for everything that goes wrong and everything that is everybody or anything that betrays you. No? We've been betrayed, all of us, all our lives. I've been betrayed more than once. I'm not talking about relationship. In life, in general, from all kinds. Family, events, business. So you learn from it and you take your space. But this business is continuing on with you. You're seeking justice. Stop this. There is no justice. Definitely not from the assholes who actually have been, instigator of this whole fiasco. All right. Joey Ibs sends us a super chat. Says, great channel, very insightful, calm and relaxing. Lovely. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for your sharing, and thank you very much for your generosity, helping the channel. Every little bit helps, and this channel needs to survive. For that, we need money to advertise, to get known, to help more people, reach more people, help more people, and to populate this channel. Otherwise, we wither and die. As you all know, it's probably one of the best channels in regards to emotional hardship, breakups, things to do with thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, the inner movement of the psyche, having to do with OCD, OCD subsets. We have elaborate discussions and over 3,000 videos on this channel, and most videos are second to none. So if you guys are really enjoying it, well, then please show it through promoting this channel and any other way you can support the channel. And again, thank you very much, Joey, for your kindness. Alexander Orid said, male 35, Macedonia, is mental rehearsal good to create new synapses to be myself, like I'm achieving a dream? Dr. Dispenza says, the more you what? DI this task, the more this feel vivid and condition your body. What do you mean DI? I don't get that. To the map of the future. Well, if you mean to plan it in your head in order to see it as part of a natural happening, in Aikido, we were taught about a Japanese phrase before we started a technique against our opponent. And it goes as such. Hajimete yamete. It means it's done before it begins, which is a principle that Dr. Dispenza is referring to, which is to believe it's taken place. So you bring the future and a possibility of something that you want to accomplish into reality of having been accomplished. In other words, you believe it's done before you begin to get it done. It's a very powerful way of thinking, and that is perhaps what you're trying to say. By imagining a plan, elaborate plan that you want to follow step by step, in order to bring to fruition something that you want to accomplish, it's a good idea because you make it your second nature, and you will not be fearful from what could or could not happen by making it yours, by making it as something that has already happened in your mind. And when it has happened in your mind, it increases the belief of yours in having that happening. Therefore, you are in fact eliminating doubts by constantly thinking about the plans and steps and fine-tuning it in order to achieve and accomplish what it is that you are set out to accomplish. So this behavior is to cut doubts by enforcing your determination to bring that to fruition. That's all I have to say about that for now. Stephen says, that's true, Marinana. Well, okay, then put it to work. Stephen says, I was working in the ICU last night with lots of beautiful women. I was nice and focused on my job, and it was a pleasant feeling. Good for you. There was a kid I was working on who had a heart transplant and on a ventilator. His quality of life was awful. It made me think of everything that I take for granted. Yeah, you better slap yourself a couple times silly, because you're sticking to some piece of bullshit expectations from some weird, whatever the hell that was, and you think that your whole value, worth and value, depending on her recognition of her wrongdoing or any other shit you expect from them. Your recognition for your worth and value is when you have the power to move on without looking back or giving a shit about whoever's done you wrong to come and apologize or take responsibility for it. In fact, you're supposed to take responsibility for the mistakes you've made as far as choosing wrong and selecting wrong. And that's on you. And that's the end of it. You should expect nothing else. Go on with your life. It's a beautiful life, and you enjoy the opportunities, because before you know it, it's all gone. Waste of your life to wait for some pussy to come back and say, oh, I'm sorry. Don't be an asshole. Don't piss me off now. Double your rate. Next time you want to make an appointment, double the rate. God damn it, you're pissing me off. David says, hello, sir, hello. Says, I recently decided to attend university online. I'm happy so far since I can travel the world because I don't have to be on campus. Aha. However, my older brother who lives at home is very toxic and manipulative and narcissistic to myself and my mother, not to mention verbally abusive. Well, you don't need him. Thank God he's not your dad. So fuck him. don't give a shit. He's an asshole. And he'll remain an asshole as long as he's being manipulative and narcissist. So I have one of those. Among my inventory of shitheads. So David says he uses my mother financially. She is well set for her retirement, but still year her. I don't know what that means. How do I let my mother know to have him leave? She has trouble kicking her child out. Well, let her know that anybody has the right to stay with her as long as they adhere to the basic rule: do no harm. If he's there and your mother is being oblivious to his behavior, well, tell your mom, listen, mom, you're very gracious, but are you gracious enough to go down with the ship just so that this idiot will enjoy his manipulation and survive on the surface of the water while you're sinking? Because when he uses your money, you're going to end up holding the bag when you get older and your retirement is gone. He's young and he's got time to make that money for himself and make ends meet. You're getting older and you cannot afford to let go any portion of your money for anybody but yourself. So think about it. If somebody is using you, would they still qualify for your compassion and for your love? Or you can see it clear that if they don't give a shit about you, why should you actually be so nice to them? Instead, you got to invite them out the door and they could go and live their lives. They're young, they can make money, and they don't need you to cater to them anymore because you're at the age that you're supposed to take care of yourself. In fact, the kid's supposed to take care of you. So if she can't see that, well, make her understand that that is going to be detriment to her life and her lifestyle and the quality of her life. And she doesn't care, well, that's on her. But make her see that. And Ox says, Isaiah 24, El Salvador. ¿Cómo está? Says, good evening, sir. I'm an incel. I think I have no chance of finding a woman. What? What the fuck you talking about? What kind of a conclusion is this? That there's only two women in this world and you can't get sex from them, so therefore you're going to be celibate the rest of your life? Stop this bullshit. Stop being a pussy. You're a man. You're designed to be rejected. This is what we are. We live to be rejected. Why? Because it motivates us to go and get what we want by trying this and trying that and trying the next one. And if nobody says yes to you, you respect it and you move on to the next, because there's always eventually enough women out there that eventually you're going to hit it off with one or two of them, and you will see that all these notion of celibacy and being incel, it was just bullshit, a cop out, being scared a cat and just justifying to be lazy. Get up, you're a man, go to the gym, make yourself strong according to your fitness level, get fit, look good, take care of yourself, get a good job, make some money, and then I'll tell you if the women are not going to look at you. But you sit on your ass and, I don't know, do whatever it is that you do at home and get a big belly and just don't be energetic and don't make yourself a better version of yourself and don't get a good job and don't work hard. Girls are looking for comfort and provisions. They're not going to come with someone who doesn't have ambition. So fix that in yourself and I'll tell you how many girls will follow you. So go to it. Stop being a pussy and stop expecting things to be handed out to you. Go get them. Access because of my anger, knowing that each young woman is already not a virgin. I feel that there is no point trying any since they never look at me. I don't understand what the fuck you're talking about. You talk like this, you believe like this. It's all full of shit. First of all, girls don't have to be virgin. Why do you have to be virgin? It's not the body that you fall in love with, and they're not being loyal just because of their body. You're supposed to bond on consciousness level. And everybody in this life have had some experiences to a point. Not extraordinary, having sex here and there all the time and this and that. That's not good either. But everybody has had some experiences, and that's acceptable. We're all human beings. So expecting her to be virgin, who the fuck do you think you are? Do you expect other people to be virgin? You want to be virgin, be virgin. But don't expect others just to live your lifestyle because you believe in a certain way. No. There's so many girls who are virgin and they're just assholes. And there's so many girls who've had sexual experiences and they're angels. Well, because the values is what makes a woman or a man. Not how many times they've slept with this and that, so forth. Of course, there's a limit to it. I understand that. But within reason is acceptable. So, Steven says, okay, I'll try not to piss me off. Yeah, you better. Otherwise, I feel better now. My ugly stick is there, and I'm going to shove it up your ass if you keep being in, pussy. Steven says, Mary, you look better, but also look like you've lost 10 pounds. Yeah, I lost 6 pounds. I used to have biceps coming out of kazoo. But now, it's not so big anymore. But don't worry. It just takes me get back to the gym and start working hard and get back to my activities. No more drama. Says, any advice for new father? Well, first I need to know your age, gender, where you're tuning in from. Obviously, you're a man. I need to know your age. Says, I never had my father, so I don't know how to be a father. My son is 1 year old now. All right, I'll get to it. Let me know how old you are and how long have you been married. I'll get back to you. It's a beautiful question. Rohju says, hi sir, 34 male from India. I have had intrusive thoughts about God, and I fear that I will be punished. What do you think? God is a pothead in the street? Or it's like you and I, that it needs you to be so respectful, otherwise it's going to punish you? Is such a wussy, such a scaredy cat, such a coward, such a dominant, such a dictator, such a tyrannical character? Is that what you think of your God is? You're supposed to love your God. Why? Because your God loves you. How could it be a God if it doesn't love you? How could it be a God if he expects you to be demolishing yourself just to respect God? God doesn't need your respect. God just needs you to think of him. And intrusive thoughts, God has created you. He knows you're going to have intrusive thoughts because that's the psyche he has created, and the psyche is still work in progress. It's got glitches. It's got malfunctions. So God is already know-it-all. So it's not going to punish you when intrusive thought shows up, when it's part of the malfunction of the brain. So otherwise, how could you call it God if he doesn't know that it's intrusive thought? So relax. Intrusive thoughts come and go about anything. Could be about your mother, could be about your father, could be about your God, you could be about an angel, could be about anybody. But the difference is that first, you should become aware that intrusive thoughts are not your responsibility, have nothing to do with you. They're irrelevant to you. It's the separate system. It's the brain that is causing and creating those intrusive thoughts. Secondly, God doesn't expect you to be responsible for what apparatus is responsible. It's the brain responsible. God is no dummy. He's not like you and I. He already knows what's gone wrong. And it's not you, it's the brain. So chill. And don't disrespect your God. He's not going to be looking to punish you for some fucking intrusive thought as if it's your doing. It says, my therapist says to do exposure for this theme, but I'm mortified out of fear of punishment. What punishment? You're bringing God down to your level. God is not on our level. How could he be God if he's the same understanding and limitations and judgments like we do? Oh, I'm going to be punished because of intrusive thoughts. Yeah, God is very needy, waiting for you to be so humble and respectful. Otherwise, it scares of your disrespect. It's going to diminish his values. God doesn't give a shit. He knows everything. So, otherwise, it's not a God. So, relax. And David said, any advice for a 20-year-old guy? About what? Don't eat too much. Don't eat fatty stuff. Not too much salt. Drink good water. Exercise. Get a good job. Finish your studies. And don't waste your life. So, it depends on what it is that you want advice for. And no more drama says 36-year-old married 13 years. Aha. You were 23 years old, you married, and you have a 1-year son. And you didn't know about your father as much, and you wonder how to be a good father. There's nothing you need to be a good father other than love. Put your son first. I don't care what you have to do. I don't care what business you've got. I don't care what schedule you have. Your son comes first. Doesn't matter what. He comes first. Then your wife. Then you. That's all. That's the secret. You gotta want to be a father. It's not a part-time job. It's what you love to be. You want to be the best father you can be. Be that father. Enjoy the role. Submerge yourself to the role. It's not a game. It's who you are. You've evolved. You're a father now. It's lots of honor. Love your son. Your son comes first. Your wife comes second. You come third. Spend as much time as you can with your son. Be patient with him. Never physically punish him. Ever. Ever. Never yell at him. The child doesn't know why you're yelling. He just knows he's done something wrong because you're angry, but doesn't know what was wrong and how he can correct it. Never yell at him. Explain things to them. Never physically punish him. Ever. Raise your hand. The child remembers if you were the protector or you were harming him. Even emotionally, he will remember. This is your chance to have the best friend ever. That's the roots of it. You do the work now, you will have a best friend forever. Loyal, loving, back you up all the time, just as you back him up all the time until he grows up. That's your duty. Out of love. And that's how you become the best father. And work hard, provide for him. And be participating in whatever he needs. Cleaning up, preparing milk, all the things you gotta do. Don't leave it to your wife. Share it together. All right. Okay. And Thomas Joseph is here. He says, did you end up forgetting the thoughts you had? Do you still get intrusive thoughts anymore? Yeah, I might. I don't give a shit. Because when you know the nature of intrusive thought, you don't bother you. It's not doesn't bother you anymore. Because you know it's like a distraction, it's like a static. You know, it's like you recognize a static out of a radio music, and then when the static shows next time, you're gonna freak. Oh, you already know it's a static. So what's a freak? Oh, another shitty static is disturbing me. That's all. Nothing to it. So you don't wait until you forget or they don't show up. The knowledge that what it is enough for you to set you free. You don't give a shit. It can come and go. These intrusive thoughts can come and go all the time. Who cares? Yeah, everything goes back to where it was. Don't worry, Thomas. Just stop running a meter. When? Why is it not gone? Why is it coming back? All of that, you're giving more attention to it. The whole idea is don't pay attention to it, not to constantly try to see how much the meter is running. Why is it still there? Why did it come back? Who gives a shit? It's irrelevant. You don't seem to understand the irrelevancy of intrusive thought. You think it means something. It means nothing. Annoying? Well, don't be annoyed. There's so many things out in the world that we see. It's all annoying. News and government and the policies and rules and shit and all these other things that the media and the governments are doing. So what do? You ignore them. Otherwise, we can't live. We're focusing on the bullshit. David, don't waste your time for politics. A bunch of crooks and bullshits are out there trying to scheme people out of their money and all just listening to some jackass who owns the world and follow the money. And don't sell yourself to that whole thing unless you can stay honest and clean. And if you do, then enjoy the politics. Otherwise, stay away from that shit. You see, Thomas, your problem is you're watching every goddamn shit that you're watching, and you take him, especially when you have OCD brain and you're prone for doubting, and you watch these garbage that they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. And you know how this works because you've seen all my videos and all the experts in this line. Yet you still watch other shit that is distracting you. You are in a vulnerable state of doubting. Therefore, you don't watch things that have no credibility. Whoever talks like that is full of shit. They don't know anything about how the psyche works and how the glitches work and how they have to be rewired and how they can get back stronger than before. These assholes should not be your sources. It cannot be my video. It cannot be my video. So don't make a mistake. Send me the link. I prove it to you. You did not understand what it said. I never said that the brain has been damaged, ever, because it's not true. So, yeah, the comment under the video, what does it have to do with my video? You're watching a comment of some asshole who doesn't know shit, make a comment in the space of my video, and then you consider that you're watching my video? No, there's some jackass who doesn't know shit. You should know better. Mauricio says, thank you for your videos. You're quite welcome. And Mauricio says, my brain is definitely damaged. No, it's not damaged. It's a glitch that you need to help to bring your brain back to the default setting. It's a natural phenomenon in every single human being on earth, because the psyche is the same in everyone. And our psyche is work in progress, is not complete yet. So relax. Nothing has been damaged. You just got to rewire it, and the brain will fix itself. It has the power to do that. All right, guys. Well, it's been about 42 minutes, and we got another super chat. The great Jedi Serena is here. Oh my goodness. She's so generous. Always she sends a super chat. And thank you for your generosity. It says, what is your advice on anxiety and how to move past it? Anxiety is thought-driven phenomena. Its source is a thought. Otherwise, there is no such thing as anxiety. Because if there is something terrible or needing of your attention has happened, in actuality, you have no time to be anxious. Why? Because you're dealing with it. Something has happened, and you're managing what has happened, dealing what has happened. While you're dealing about something that has happened, there is no time to both be anxious and dealing with something. Either you're anxious because something hasn't happened yet, so you have time to be anxious about if it happens, or it has happened and you're dealing with the outcome, managing it to manage the situation. And in that case, you're not anxious, because anxious is only when something hasn't happened. When it has happened, you're dealing with it. There is no anxiety. However, in order to momentarily, quickly get over anxiety, I want to bring your attention to two breathing systems. Pre-Butzinger complex is the name of the system that you use to breathe normally. You know, in, out, in, out. Regardless of how lengthy it is or how fast or short it is, it's a normal system that allows you a normal sequence of breathing. Pre-Butzinger complex. However, breathing is the only involuntary system that has second system that allows you to manipulate this involuntary system. In other words, your breathing is naturally happening automatically, right? Pre-Butzinger complex. In, out. But this naturally happening automatic system of breathing can also be manipulated using a second system, which is called parafacial nuclei. Parafacial nuclei. The name doesn't matter, but what it is a system that allows you to manipulate your breathing sequence. In other words, if you're crying, you can still breathe by manipulating the breathing rhythm. If you're laughing, you can still use this system to manipulate the rhythm of your breathing. So it won't be in and out as normally as you use. It will be, but it can still allow you to breathe. These two systems can help you to regulate regardless of what anxiety is. Now, using this second system, you can get rid of anxiety in a second. Why? Because anxiety is a thought-driven phenomenon. When you use what I'm about to show you, you will stop thinking. When you stop thinking and the thought stops, there is no source for anxiety anymore because anxiety is thought-driven. So your whole plan and goal is to take a break from thoughts. In other words, you get thoughts out of the consciousness. When you get the thought out of the consciousness, you come outside of the consciousness, there is no thoughts. When there's no thought, anxiety dies because there's no source for that. So here it goes. It's very simple. No matter where you are, you can do this. You breathe in as you use pre-Butzinger complex. You breathe in big. And then on top of it, when you can't breathe any further, you make a second breathe using this other system. It doesn't matter. You can do it automatically. You don't need to know the name of it. And then you hold for a few seconds, and then you let go through your mouth or through your nose. And when you finish exhaling, you breathe normally again. This is how it's going to look like. Then you breathe normally. I want you to do it with me. I want you to breathe long, and when you finish, you breathe one on top. You hold a few seconds, and you release. When you finish, you breathe normally. And I want to ask you a question afterwards. Ready? Breathe in. Breathe normally. All through this time, you had no thoughts, zero thoughts. Am I right? I know I am. That is a window that kicks those whole anxiety out. This is a technique that psychotherapists use when someone is in deep depression and they can't get him out. They give him electric shock. Electric shock jolts it out and stops the thought. This, what I just shared with you, it is like the electric shock to the depressed person, but you do it very simply and readily available, and it's highly effective. And it gives you a break to your brain and suddenly calms you down. It's like a dog that is misbehaving and you just give it a shove and the dog changes its behavior because you just switched its psyche and threw him off. Now, that's my short answer for that great Jedi, Serena. No, Thomas, it doesn't send you to a spiral anything. It is you who doesn't understand that these things are just irrelevant. You're focusing on the content while content of the intrusive thought is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. The topic doesn't matter. Your understanding that it is intrusive thought is going to set you free. Understanding that you're not the brain is not you, is going to set you free. Otherwise, keep taking tab and interpreting these intrusive thoughts. That's your demise. Don't fall for that shit. All right, guys, it's been 51 minutes. I think we have answered all the questions. I hope it was helpful to you this little bit. I'm actually getting off the line in order to watch the rest of Mandalorian. I've watched it all, but I think I'm recapping because I want to watch Ahsoka, and therefore I want to follow it up and be there. And Great Jedi Serena with another $1.99 of a super chat graces us, says, thank you. That helped me feel less anxious. Great. You can do that exercise 2 or 3 or 4 times in a row if you want. And it's every time gives you calmness, brings you balance, and makes all neurotransmitters work properly and makes you balanced without any anxiety. So don't worry. It's all good. Steven says, have a nice night, Mehran. I need to start watching that too. Yeah, there you go. Okay, guys, I love you all. It's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream. In the meantime, be good to yourself and others always. I'll talk to you soon. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com, making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.